Hello, everyone. I'm Jamie Price. Welcome to the June Ascension Energies. So, we are in the final month of the second quarter of this year, overall energies of the year, creative harmonics. And for this quarter, we are looking more deeply into our personal interaction with these topics so that you have better boundaries, better focus to be able to hold your creative harmonic. And this helps you get your energy into your life so that you're using more of your creative flow. And that helps you not be as affected by the push and the pull of all of the chaos and drama that's going on around us. And of course, it's not that you need to stay completely unaware. You just need to be more conscious with your sacred life force. And that's how you help build that long-term and deep change, that true creative harmonic. Now, let's just go right ahead and dive into the energies for this month. The June energies are co-creation. And I love the dichotomy of this topic that as we're focusing on more of our personal interactions with the topics, we're actually looking at co-creation. And most importantly, what this is about is your co-creation with the broader cycles of life. And in the Lyran perspective in June, Arion is transmitting information and healing about the ability to hold understanding and experience of the universal laws as you're living the physical laws of this realm. And that's that blending that's so important in this time, that you're blending your experience of your valuable human self and your subtle self, your personal and your collective nature. So that co-creation is working more with those broader cycles of life so that your personal energy and what you're rippling out into the world, that has more of an impact. And of course, to do this, you don't want to just apply the rules of the physical realm that we're so accustomed to, that are so much louder, into the subtle realm of creation. So in the physical, we use control, we use manipulation, and of course, those can be negative. They can be positive, like manipulating clay to make a new shape. But when you understand the nature of your potential, of your power to co-create with life, then you're utilizing both of those. Most importantly, that invisible, subtle, vast, powerful flow that creates worlds. And in your personal experience, this means dealing with your fears, your desires that come up, because especially in these times that have been going on in such an intense way for years and are just continuing to intensify as the old that wasn't working breaks down. And our work is the rebuilding. That's the co-creation. So even when you're aware of your fears, they stimulate solution. And then that's where you focus your subtle energy. So that's the being in the world, but not of it. You're aware of what's coming up and then co-creating, refocusing your inner world so that you are able to hold that higher resonance, that higher potential. And this is, of course, building on the May energies of neutrality so that you can hold that bridge point of those two opposites so that your fears can connect more and bridge into your desires so that your co-creation is constant and you're utilizing that broader flow of life. And yet it's you, unique, valuable you, that life wants to flow through, that life wants to unconditionally respond to and co-create with. And because of this, it's also important that you're relaxing your resistance to time, embracing the past, whether it's something conscious, like something you're aware of, a wound patterning, or even if it's less conscious, like emotions or things that get triggered without you even knowing why. And especially embracing that future, that unknown, because that's what you're holding in your present moment, the potentials of the future. And that helps those energies to keep moving through you so that you can co-create something actually new with life. And these intense times are calling you and sometimes pushing and pulling you to align with a more refined vibration of you. That's the alchemy of being immersed in the crucible of change, being in the world, but not completely of it, because that world is the catalyst that's creating a finer substance of you, more light. And yet, of course, you're still physical here, participating in ways that continue to refine you and therefore humanity. And especially with this time of such chaos, this is when it's ever more important to let these challenges stir your compassion, helping you focus, hold that creative harmonic, so that that compassion and that detached observance is calling you and supporting you to be able to hold that creative harmonic instead of just focusing on the chaos that abounds. That's the catalyst. You are the co-creator, the rebuilder of the future. Now, I want to talk about the vision that I was shown because, of course, it's the Barbary crop circle again. And I have no idea if this is going to keep coming up all year, but here we are again at the top of that crop circle, the pyramid that has the clear circle at the top. And you can review the April and the May energies of how that all feeds into this. But of course, we're moving through our freedom to change, our freedom to transform, and holding that neutrality so that now that we're at this focus on our co-creation, we are able to maintain the resonance of what we're wanting to co-create with life. And I was shown this clear circle that's at the top, of course, representing that pure potential. And that's, of course, akin to your subtle connected self, that as you're holding that focus, you're beginning to experience that blending of universal law instead of just the limitations of the physical. You're allowing more life in, the greater flow of your subtle self, so that you co-create with that vast engine and you're the rebuilding of the future. You're allowing life to co-create more powerfully with you because you're holding your creative harmonic. You know you're free to change like April. You're neutral in what you're observing and feeling, even though it has ups and downs. And you're focused on that co-creation, that creative harmonic, instead of just getting pushed and pulled by what's occurring right now. And it's your work to continue to nurture that clarity, that pure potential, with that deep understanding that you are powerful, you matter, you are worthy, and You get the most powerful vote in what you are experiencing within, especially as you're blending your infinite aspect, your power of love, your higher self, your neutrality with your human experience, your flow through the emotions, your ability to observe the positives and negatives and let those transform into what you're wanting to co-create. That's the pure potential that you're holding. And this is what Ariana is focusing on in the Lyran Perspective this month, how you experience the opposites and you continue to hold your co-creative power with life. And they're also tying a bow on this quarter overall so that you're focusing less on the externals, not none. Let that be that catalyst, but that you are holding more of that focus on what you're wanting to create or being that resonance, working more directly with your infinite power. And then the details and the choices of your interactions will automatically be more aligned with your infinite self. The intention later actually is going to support that too. The co-creation with life that honors the subtle rules, the connective, that power of love, and your choices, your focus, that's when you're co-creating that higher harmonic. And love is at the energy of the core of life. Not always evident here in the physical realm. It's not always what's on the surface of the experience, like that pure potential at the top of the barbaric crop circle. You can't see what's inside the circle. No one can see what's within you. You are the one that is holding that pure potential, no matter what's going on around you. And in the physical realm, we certainly can control, we can suppress things, we can avoid things, we can be controlled. But the invisible tides of the subtle information that build the physical can only be held back for so long. And what we are experiencing now is the water rising behind the dam. What potentials are rising within you? When you are working with your infinite nature more, you're co-creating with those core laws of life, more tuned into the subtle and sometimes not so subtle tides. Relax into it more. Co-create with the deeper knowledge that the potential that you are holding, which isn't visible when you're looking from the outside of the circle, that the more that you nurture that within, you're experiencing it, you're holding that resonance within the information of life, offering others the potential to experience that more. It's a win-win because you're enjoying your experience more, even with the ups and downs, and you're holding that information within the collective that we are all connected to. I will be teaching crystalline soul healing online this year in late July. And this is a powerful Lyran modality that works with those subtle realm rules because it's that vast healing through the higher self. And the alchemical template that it uses is a profound learning and utilizing of the universal laws that we're immersed in. It's a silent modality, very different from light language, though it combines really well with it. Now, I already spoke about the Lyran Perspective for June, but in the monthly energies teleclass, I'm going to be teaching and doing some crystalline soul healing and light language to help you to be more practical with those vast unformed potentials, which can sometimes feel ungrounded, can sometimes be confusing. And this will help you to attune to your co-creative ability more easily, no matter what the experience is. It's just going to feel different in different experiences. Now, information about all of those classes are in the links below, and you can visit my website, jamieprice.com. Now, let's talk about the light language. And I'm also excited about the intention this month. But the light language is a really beautiful experience of the relaxing within, because I was shown this soft energy flowing like the energy of taking a breath, something that's just constant. And that's the flow of co-creation when you're more open to your infinite self and that broader nature of life, because you're more coherent, you're more tuned into the heart. And there was also some healing around the stories that we hold. And this is really important because it really helps you be open to change so that you can co-create with life more and attune into the love that life has for you. That as you hold those higher potentials for yourself and for others, you're opening yourself to experiencing your highest potential. That relaxed openness allows more life to flow through you. And of course, sometimes effort is within that, but it's easier effort than when you're not using those broader flow energies, because you're having to do all the work, figure it out with your mind, and your mind analyzes, categorizes based on experience, whether it was your experience or something you read or heard. When you're using those broader flows, you're more tuned into your heart, that infinite nature of connection. And that work is that openness to life, because life isn't asking you to sacrifice in ways that don't truly benefit the highest good of all involved. And that might look different than we expect. So you have to be willing to rewrite your story. More allowing, less worrying. And there was also some energy connected to 369 that I'm sure you're familiar with Nikola Tesla's saying that that holds the keys to the universe. And as that was coming up, I was feeling the March energies, and here we are at the 6th month in June. And I am sure that whatever those 9th month energies are will tie this together completely. But there we were in March with creative focus. So really being clear about what you're doing within. Here we are in this month of June with co-creation, that inner realm being so important, and observing how things are flowing between those two opposites. Now, the intention this month will assist with that so that you're opening up to your divinity more. And the intention is co-creation with life creates divine change. This opens you to those potentials that life wants for you, that your divine perspective already knows is possible, and that your human self may not believe is possible yet. But that's the magic that's actually very natural to life. Look at the earth that life has built. So let's do a few of these together and feel into what's coming up for you as you repeat this along with me. So just take a nice, relaxing breath. Co-creation with life creates divine change. Co-creation with life creates divine change. Co-creation with life creates divine change. This is what life wants for you and for life. For more life to flow through you. For you to enjoy life more. Not every moment here in the physical realm. But that's what you're doing. You're rebuilding the future. You can come back throughout the month, revisit the light language, do that intention throughout the month, and leave a comment about some of the divine change that you're noticing in your life. Sometimes it's going to be subtle at first, but this is what life wants for you to use your powerful, sacred life force to bring more divine love here to earth through you. Have an amazing solstice and enjoy the light language.
Bam, come, braur, amat, unut such a crier umat brerel. Jano, hrimdat, anam such a crier o court, comremdat inin suchum, amnead at a crier ut oam. Kare, map and Dutch o grandet, tenend crow, me a oret, nagnend orme, chauret eetsem, bren gnand a chauret, grel erma, jauret in suknonu. Canum bawr and the crier o chauret itsich grumthet in surat al rumat Canan shair ut urcret anshari anum habraret aklel canat uruk map sichur nund bren canandat arut o crandat al remet onot so cat ukrorum hapchaurut nend canend harub at del such bren hatchaurut namb prekrat kraat ok lem aprendat. Gat humded nan such a urmat nan hakrel or ma urit bred a knin such a urkrim hapteret kal et urund bra nen hat sa grund antierut o kurt krel hernendet it suchum bred nand o koa. Kandat grandat brandat al erma mranat inim such okror hamba parer horma brand tekrel erno uremet nun sachet unum ka himdat him. Sone nama na enshod inin sok okua. Gand hurmema at sonsten ananan such okror telel ernen. Mrem randat okort kraur njet unun sup and stanend del hernend aurat ak ma ratshot Mneret nun such satak dairut huel. Naurat hmbap a krair arat sech onema diaret klel. Kennen mnandat ar ukort a krair urol. Jaurat anam sachet nin suk ukuam. Amit ora. Mneret hnen such ar klel remem. Mnaret graurat bezatsut sterot sukror krel dat brannat unum mene agra kreat okwa. Samea shuk okwa. Dubta chanen.